So, okay, let's begin now. Let's begin now. And first of all, this video is made for only those people who are not writing mains. Those people who are writing mains, kindly watch this video after your mains exam is over. So, this paper discussion is also having one model answer, which you can find it on our uh, Telegram channel, or for that matter on YouTube channel also. You can just find the model answer. This paper has been conducted today only, and just after the conduction of the paper, we are going to discuss the entire 8 essay paper. So in the real time environment, let's say somebody goes there and somebody has to appear in this examination, somebody is appearing in this examination. So first thing which will be there, that out of these 8 essays, how to choose the 2 essays which has to be written. So there are two principles. There are several principles for choosing the right essay. The first principle is the understanding of the essay. But the question arises that what is called the real understanding of the essay? Real understanding of the essay is the understanding which which makes the understanding in the presentable format. Let's say you can summarize the entire essay in 2 to 3 words, or one just simple idea which is having a lot of um, dimensions. So that is the best understanding of the essay. So first thing, for choosing the essay, the understanding should be clear. Once the understanding is clear, the halfway is done. More than half, 70% game is over once the understanding is clear. All right. And then let's just focus upon um, these essays. Once the understanding is clear, you will have to see that which essays can be written in the fluid manner, with the proper flow, right? So here in this case, let's come one by one. Let's say 9 a.m. somebody went to the examination hall and he or she got the paper. So look at this. There are 4 essays in section A. This is a very, very important part which we are going to discuss. This is the 4 essays. In these 4 essays, number 1 is forests precedes civilization and deserts follows them. This is very quite simple and easy to understand, that it is saying that how the civilizations are impacted by the forests, and how the this civilization end is reflected by the deserts. So that means what? It is highlighting 2 things in every paragraph: the importance of forests in propagating civilization, in supporting the civilization, and the outcome of civilization, or the end of civilization, is indicated by the desertification. So this is what is the idea. So that means the person who is having geography optional, or some environment related interests, they'll have a very good this control over this. And as we have suggested, there can be a lot of quotations which can be used in this particular essay, that how the forests are important, and how the deserts mark the end of the civilization. So this is quite simple. Okay, but let's choose the best one. All right. The empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. So it is stating that the future belongs to those people, or those kingdom, or those nations, or those politicians, or those economists who are relying upon their mind. So that is very, very simple. The earlier one is having two dimensions, but this one is having only one dimension. Importance of mind in determining the future. UPSC has asked some questions earlier also, like the mindful manifesto is important for the tranquil self. So that there also they talked about the mind. Here also they are talking about the minds. Empires of mind. Empires of mind means mindful manifesto was basically about the planning, but there also the idea was related to the mind. Here also they discussed about the again the empires of mind, that one who uses mind everywhere, then the future will be decided. The future will be ruled by them who are having the mind. The third question is also quite very simple. There is no path to happiness. Uh, Happiness is the path. It is saying there is no path to happiness. There is no means to achieve happiness. Happiness is the path. Understand that happiness is an end in itself. There is no means to achieve the happiness. Happiness is the end itself. So that means simply this question is slightly to be expressive in this question, to see throughout the dimension of this question, one has to show that how the process is happiness, how the procedure is happiness, how the intermediate things are happiness, how even the end is also the part of the procedure only. So happiness is an end in itself, not a means to achieve certain other end. So this is what is the meaning of the happiness. Next question, it is saying the doubter is a true man of science. This is again the repeated question of UPSC. I think all these four are some in one way or another way has been repeated by UPSC from UPSC essay. Doubter is a true man of science. It is saying doubter, the benefit of doubt, the importance of reason, the spirit of questioning. So all these are, this is saying the thinking ability. So this is what, this is speaking of the science. Science means it should be based upon reason. That reason should be a pure reason. So I think in this part, the best and the simplest one to write is to choose between these two. These two. Why? Because it is saying the region, how region will lead to the science. And this is saying that how the importance of mind will shape the future. So these any one can choose any of these. These will be very simple. Although these two are also not very, very tough. These two are also not very, very tough. You need to justify the your answer, your essay writing in through the topic in every paragraph. The entire essay should be written in 35 paragraphs or 35 to 37 paragraphs, where each paragraph should be summarized or should have the meaning which is indicated by the topic. Social media is triggered fear of missing out, FOMO, amongst the youth, precipitating depressions and loneliness. This question is very predictable question, and I think we have discussed it several times in our classroom. And this nearly all men can stand adversity, but to test the character give him power. So this is a simple question, that how social media is triggering FOMO, how people are this engaged in social media and FOMO amongst the youth, precipitating depressions and loneliness. How it is, earlier in 2017, I guess UPSC had asked this question, that social media is inherently biased, is an inherently biased thing. So on the similar line, this question has been asked. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but to test the character, give him the power. The question UPSC in the similar way has asked that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, there are with great responsibility. Power comes with the great responsibility. So these kind of questions has been asked. So again, repetition of the question which is there. All ideas having large consequences are always simple. I think 2 years back only UPSC has asked this question in the different format that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So again, this is the repetitive question. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. This is also like this is what that one who does not do anything or the inaction is more dangerous than what being wrong. So at least in one the action is always good than inaction irrespective of its outcome. This is what is being asked. So if I ask you, so in this section B, 5, 6 and 7, these three are the easy one, the repeated one, and the eighth one is a little bit of this two dimensions which has to be there, but again it is not as difficult. Somebody if chose it to write that is absolutely fine, perfectly fine. So now I'll just say that some questions has been discussed. Like nearly all man can stand adversity, but to test the character, give him the power. So I talked if some students from my class, if you could remember, I have already explained to you about the story of Lord Indra and Lord Krishna. Both of them have got power. Uh, Lord Indra or the Purandar, in our mythological, it's a mythological story. Lord Indra used his power to do the thunder, lightning, and excessive rainfall, which created havoc among the citizens, among the people. People died because of the power. All right. But at the same time, Lord Krishna came and he has raised the entire Govardhan Parvat on his little finger to save the life of many people. This is indicating towards the responsible use of power. This is indicating towards that how the character is tasted by the power. It is not just about this mythological story, but in the real life also, this is very much valid. Let's compare it with the example of Gandhiji and Hitler. Let's compare it with the example of Gandhiji and Hitler. All right. So there also you can realize, you can just see that both of them were very powerful, were charismatic leader because of the acceptance, but the real character was visible when they got their power. So this is a very simple anecdote valid for this particular type of question. So let's just begin, and this anecdote has already been stated for social media. I have also explained for social media, I have also explained it to you that this FOMO culture. I told you that giving the example of the blue whale game, which was very recently popular, and some people were so lost, so depressed that they committed suicide because of this blue whale game. So you can start from there, or you can start from that the depression, the YouTube rehabilitation center, the Facebook or this. The social media rehabilitation centers which are coming up. So poor role modeling and everything is there because of this negative aspect of this social media. So this is how these things has already been discussed. Let's come now to answer, to address these questions one by one. So let's say this, I told you what are the principles which you should be using for writing this paper. The principle is comparison, contrast, and surprise. Let's say if you talk about forests precede civilization and deserts follow them. So I'll just It is the story, or it is the comparative aspect of two important landscape. One is the Amazonian forest, another one is the Sahara desert. The Sahara desert. Sahara desert. So, what I want to tell you, what I want you to understand is we are trying to create this, this how the civilizations are, uh, dependent upon the forests, and how deserts are the outcome towards the civilization. So if we talk about how this Amazon is supporting the civilization, or through different ecological services. If we talk about the role of forests in absorption of carbon dioxide, if we talk about role of forests in safeguarding the food, fuel, and this fodder, or for that matter, providing the timber, supporting the industry. All these are very important for supporting the civilization, and this has become the basis of the for the entire civilization. On the contrary, when we talk about the Sahara Desert, when we talk about the Sahel region, there we realize that the desertification is extending southwards and resulting into the desertification of Sahel region, and resulting into the loss of civilization, loss of economic activity. The habitat and niche are fragmented, the services are disrupted. So all these things are there, and these two are providing a contrasting example, true contrasting examples, that how the forests are supporting the civilization, and how deserts are the indicative of the downfall of a civilization. So in the similar way, this model answer has been created. Look at this, where in the lush terrains of Amazon and the stark barrenness of Sahara, the fates of ecosystems dramatically unfold. The Amazon, brimming with life, underpins extensive civilizations, thriving through its biodiversity and abundance. In the contrast, Sahara, once fertile and hosting bustling communities, now serves as the stark reminder of environmental degradation. So this dichotomy vividly exemplify the proverbs. This, look at this, how beautifully in just first paragraph only it has been connecting to the topic. Now that forest precedes civilization and deserts follows them. All right. So highlighting the delicate interplay between the human sustenance and ecological health. So this is how it has to be written. Now, it is very important that these stories must be correlated to explain the topic. Like these stories of Amazon and Sahara underscore a profound ecological principle. The vitality of the civilization closely ties to its environmental stewardship. This is very important. Now it has been simplified in the format that how civilizations are dependent upon the environment which is there. How the environment are the basis for the civilization. Look at this. Franklin D. Roosevelt once remarked that a nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. This is very simple. Destroys its soil. That means what? That means destroying the forest. Deforestation is leading to desertification. So this narrative sets the stage for broader discussion on how this perseveration of forest ecosystem is crucial for civilizational prosperity, and conventionally how degradation heralds ecological and societal decline. So this is very simple. Now in the thesis, you know about that. The another way to introduce this particular question would be the taking the story of one particular region only, how that particular region was, let's say we talk about the regions of specifically savanna grassland region, savanna grassland biome, um, which are found near equator. Desertification, overgrazing is leading to desertification of that particular region. Or let's talk about the Sahel region also. In one particular region, which was once flourishing because of the lush green environment which is there, now facing difficulty even for the survival of a single species. The reason is what? The transfer, or this tectonic shift, or the human activity, the civilization doing deforestations. So forests are indicator of the good health of the what? Good health of the civilization. However, when the civilization ends, there will be this deserts everywhere. So look at this. We can also talk about the Mesopotamian civilization. This was on the basis of Euphrates and Tigris River. Earlier it was forest, but now it is in the region where this is having the deserts. Now, in social structures, in forest dependent societies reflected deep ties to the natural resources. This is basically, we are entering into the body, and in the body we are presenting the thesis which is there. In thesis here, this you can just use the quotations like Mahatma Gandhi stated that earth provides enough for satisfy every man's needs, but not enough for every man's greed. So this is very relevant quotation here, because the greed is the basis for desertification. The depletion of forests can lead to societal displacement and degradation into the barren lands. Forest plays a crucial roles in the climate regulations and water cycles. Different services which are provided by this ecosystem is the where forest end, deserts begin. Where the forest ends, this civilizations, or where the forests survive, civilizations survive. Where a forest ends, the this desertification, deserts begins. So this is very important. Forests are the shadows or civilization. Where they go, the civilization soon follow. So now you can also have some geopolitical aspect of it, like the forest-rich countries are central in environmental negotiations, because global politics often hinge upon how we manage our trees. So look at this, how beautifully these things are connected with the idea of this particular topic. Forests are the carbon sink. If we talk about the environmental dimensions, again, we are indicating subsequently in every paragraph that how forests are important for the sustenance of civilization. And again, we are also indicating that if forests die, if civilization is declining, that is leading to desertification. If we talk about antithesis would be what? Antithesis would be the balancing the need of development along with deforestations. It is not just the forest conservation is very primary, but for the development we need to balance it. Over exploitation in regions like Indus Valley led to their desertification, echoing the historical neglect and its dire consequences on once thriving civilizations. Okay, so this is how it should be there. The international disputes over the forest management and initial economic benefits of deforestations are often overshadowed by the long-term financial losses which are there. All right, so allowing the forest to degrade into the deserts raises profound ethical concerns. So you can just write that how desertification is there, or how do we need to balance the conservation of forest with the development. These two can be the antithesis for that. And then you can talk about the government efforts. I always told you that in government effort you write 3 paragraphs. First paragraphs are for the constitutional morality with respect to the conservation of forest. Let's say we talk about 51A subclause G, which talks about the conservation of forest, wildlife and lakes. So this is how it should be there. If we talk about sustainable forest management policies aim to prevent desertification, but they require global cooperation. We talk about the policies, then we have to talk about the global cooperation. Let's say Red Plus is one initiative which could have been written here, that Red Plus are this our this the climate goals. There also we have the our revised INDC, intended national determined contributions, Panchamrit Yojana. So all these are having some components where the forests are being conserved. है ना? So this is how it is there, but despite government efforts, what are happening? Some communities, despite government efforts, what are happening? The loss of forest cover is witnessed. So this loss of forest cover is indicating towards what? This the problems which are being faced. Na? So there has to be a way forward, should be the proactive strategy for the environmental education, fostering in international cooperation for sustainable management. For example, you cannot protect the environment unless you empower the people, you inform them, you help them understand that resources are their own and they must protect them. Here, you can also use the Gaia hypothesis, which I have stated you. We as a human being are uh, the part of this Mother Earth, not apart from this Mother Earth. This is Gaia hypothesis. So this could be written here. And in conclusion, the very clearly it has to be stated like the clearest way into the universe is through a forest and wilderness. Or I have already given you this idea. We as the responsible head of food web and food chain has to keep our sky blue, ocean clean, and earth green. This indicates towards the conservation of the forest should be the given the precedence for saving our civilization. Right? So this is how it could be written. Next question. Look at this. The empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. Very, very simple question. Very, very simple question. Here you will have to use about the, you will have to talk about the mind. So I'll just suggest, I have given you this quotation of this Yuval Noah Harari in his book Sapiens. He has written that in the age of artificial intelligence, what is not going to be important, but how is, why is going to be important, or the people with the regular skills, the repetitive skills are not going, may be replaced, but in the age of AI, the people with mind are not going to be replaced. So those people who have the ability to learn, who have the capability to use their mind are going to be the leaders of the future. So this is how the empires of future will be the empires of mind. What do you mean by mind here? This mind could be interpreted in the terms of the ideas, the innovation, the responsibility or the responsible policies which are being formulated, the mindful, the economy which is there everywhere, which is this which is on the basis of the mind which is there. So let's say we talk about United States of America and China, what they are doing. Are they fighting for showcasing their strength, or this strength is the outcome of their mind? So this is how it has to be seen. Let's say the leaders, the worldwide leaders, if we talk about from historically, if we talk about from the Vedic period to the British India, who has been respected across humanity? The person who has used his or her mind. The various examples could be what? The various examples could be Mahatma Gandhi, could be this, this in the medieval India. If you go, you can just see about the Akbar, although he was not very educated, but he has used his mind to the full capability. So if I say you that how to write this essay, if I ask you, I have given you this idea to do the comparison and contrast. So let's say we talk about two sets of people, or two people in the in a small village of Tamil Nadu, where these people are trying to uh, go to the school with a lot of difficulty. A lot of difficulty is there for going to the school. Even one has to swim a long river to go to the school. And but he was always to use his mind. This was his this his USP, or this was his unique thing which was there. But at the same time, his friends who were not able to use his mind remained there. But the person who used his mind throughout his life became APJ Abdul Kalam. So this is how you can just give the comparison of APJ Abdul Kalam with his friends. Or for that matter, you can just talk about the Ramanujan, who was a popular mathematician, and his colleagues who are there. We are now, just reading or using the Ramanujan theorem. So that is indicating towards the importance of mind in shaping the future. Now, to give this essay multiple dimension, this mind can be there in the political control, the use of mind can be there in the economic control. The mind, those people who are economically prosperous, maybe because of their mindful gains which they have got, or mindful decisions which they have taken. So this is how it should be written in society also. Those people who are mindful, who can use their mind, are going to be the next generation leaders. So this is how it should be. It should be understood. It should be written. So this is the use of mind. Geopolitics also, the use of mind is there. Economics also, environmental use of minds is there. Ethically also, you will see that how the use of mind is indicating towards the knowledge economy. If we talk about antithesis, this intellectual empires has also lead to monopolies. Use of mind in the negative way. The antithesis would be the people. Let's say this idea of this Oppenheimer. He is also an innovator, but he innovated this atom bomb. All right, or the person who invented the gun, or let's say you just talk about any mindful person. Let's say Osama bin Laden. He is also having the mind, but without value, this mind is used for destructive purpose. This question has also been asked. This could be one of the antithesis in this. So government, despite this antithesis, so government understanding this antithesis, is trying to put a lot of effort in this development of mindfulness. Let's say in the constitutional spirit of excellence through 51A subclause J, capital J. So this is also the spirit of excellence which is there. We talk about this schemes like Padhe Bharat, Badhe Bharat, schemes like Inspire scheme, Aspire scheme. All these schemes are indicating towards what? This or adult tinkering lab, the utility of mind from the grassroots level. It is not just this government which is focusing through the policies, but several this civil society organizations or NGOs are also working to enhance the mind. Let's say this Pratham NGO which is there. let's say this Pratham NGO which is there. So that is also indicating towards the mind. So if we talk about despite government efforts, there are different worlds which are there are challenges in regulations of the digital world which is coming up. Um, Again, this recently, very recently, the mind was used for the bad purpose, or this cyber hacking which is happening, ransomware. All these are indicating towards the recent things, the current affairs things which are making the people vulnerable. If we talk about way forward, so how to improve the mind, that should start from the children level, and then it should go till the this youthful level. So this is how it should be written. And in the landscape of future empires, intellectual prowess, innovation, information will define dominance and influence. These new empires of mind, transcending physical boundaries and traditional constraints, hold the promise of a more connected and enlightened global community as envisioned by the Churchill. By nurturing intellect and innovation while addressing the inherent challenges of inequality and ethical dilemmas, we can forge the empires that are not only powerful but also just and sustainable, ensuring prosperous future for all. So this is how it has to be written. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. So this is, again, I'll just explain it to you, that the process itself should be enjoyable. The this the this the external source of happiness should not be sought. Ah, there is no path to happiness. The happiness is the path itself. If we talk in the modern world, the pursuit of happiness often seems like a distant goal tied to external achievements and future accomplishments. Consider the life of a successful corporate executives tirelessly working towards the material gains. Material gains, one corporate executive tirelessly going towards the material gain. And another contrasting example is a Buddhist monk in Tibet. Let's say you just create the story and you just compare. There, despite the material gains, there is no limit. He is very hasty. He has lost his happiness, but despite not having any of the this material thing, a Buddhist monk in Tibet may be very happy. Or a small nation like this what do you call Bhutan is performing very good in the global happiness index, but let's say this China, or let's say this United States also, individualism, consumerism is increasing. There are concerns about the nihilist tendencies which are there in the United States. So after writing these two comparisons, you just create the question mark, that what differentiates this Buddhist monk with the corporate, or what differentiates this let's say Bhutan with the China, or this United States of America. And you then answer. Answer lies in understanding this idea that there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. That means what? That happiness is itself is the path. Happiness itself is the end. All right, in itself. So everywhere the process should be, the one should be very contained, very happy in the process. Somebody is preparing irrespective of the result. Niskamam karmam, as stated through Bhagavad Gita. So karma kare and phal ka chinta na kare. That is also indicating towards what? The happiness in the process, the containment in the process. So this is how it should be written. It should be understood. All right. So look at this. I just wanted to read this model essay for you. Consider the life of a successful corporate executive tirelessly working towards the material gains, promotions, status, and believing this will bring the happiness. Contrast this with the scene of a monk of the mountains who finds containment in the present moment without striving for material success. These two paths illustrate a profound truth captured by the Thich Nhat Hanh words. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. The executive, despite all his external achievements, often finds himself in the perpetual state of seeking, never truly content. But the monk, however, embodies happiness in every step of the journey. The stories reflect the wisdom of happiness is not the destination, but a way of living. It is found not in external achievements, but also in our attitudes, our mindset, and our presence in the moment. This simple yet profound concept shifts the paradigm of life. It encourages us to see happiness not as something to chase, but a state to cultivate, a journey or walk every day. Understanding this requires looking beyond material gains and social benchmarks, focusing instead upon how we can find happiness in the present moment. There is a very famous dialogue in the movie this Kung Fu Panda, that this uh, past is history, future is mystery, and present is the gift. All right. So be in the present, live in the present, stay contained in this what? In this present. So this quotation can also be used, or this story can also be used for, taken from the Jataka story, taken from the story of Ananda, who was the disciple of Buddha. So he was trying to attain enlightenment. Every day he was doing this a lot of meditation for attaining the enlightenment, but he was not getting, and he was very much worried about it, that why I am not, despite I am being very much strict, very much disciplined for the achievement of that enlightenment here stands for the happiness, but I am not able to achieve it. Let's say one day he went to Buddha and he asked him why it is happening with me. So Buddha gave him the sermon. Buddha highlighted him the importance of not seeking the happiness, but importance of being in present and understanding being in present is the happiness. So that is indicated, and the moment he understood, he got liberated. So this is also the ancient story from where it can be started. All right. So here, where let's say you talk about this Aristotle in his philosophy of eudaimonia, emphasize living virtuously as the key to the happiness, not accumulation of wealth or success. Very simple. Living. That means this is the propounder. Aristotle is the propounder of virtue ethics. So you can just start with that, and socially you can just talk about the not just wealth, fame, status, or everything, but the personal fulfillment, relationships, community brings lasting happiness. It is the social capital which is the precedence for the human capital. Okay. So you just talk about I just gave you the example. The Bhutan's is the measurement of GDP is gross national happiness, and not the the GDP. So this is so that is how it is indicative of this happiness should be in the containment, in the being composed, in being the this being in present. So this is how it should be there. Economically, the consumer culture promotes the idea that material wealth leads to happiness. This is how it should be there. However, studies consistently show that after a certain point, increasing wealth has little effect on happiness, supporting the nation that happiness is a journey to be lived daily. Yeah. So in antithesis, if we talk about antithesis, while some argue that the historical advancements in science and technology has led to greater happiness through better living conditions, this is often short-lived as people continue to seek more, never fully satisfied. If we talk about geographically, in fast-paced urban environments, people often associate happiness with the external accomplishments and material success, reinforcing the belief that the happiness is something to be attained and not lived daily, not in the present. Everything is planned for the future, but in planning for the future, somebody is this not living in the present, not just understanding the importance of being contained today. So this is how it should be there. So if we talk about government efforts are, let's say, this happiness curriculum which is coming up. Let's say if you talk about this this constitutional spirit, constitutional morality of the fraternity, the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of secularism, all these are indicating towards the level of happiness which is there. But despite government efforts, there are increasing farmer suicide, increasing student suicide, increasing levels of depressions, the mental health issues which are there. This is the current phase part which we can come bring in, and that is indicating towards the this widespread stress and this satisfaction which is there. So what should be done? It should be there should be a supportive ecosystem. There should be the ethical ecosystem, the care ecosystem which is there, starting from the grassroots level. The mother should be targeted, the school should be targeted, the role of teachers, parents, and the peer group, the society should be there. So that is done through the sensitivity training, that is done through the morality training, that is done through the awareness. This should be done. All right. So this is how the this mindfulness or gratitude which is there. So in conclusion, you can just say about the lines like there is no path to the happiness. Happiness is the path, rooted in compassion, mindfulness, and presence. Happiness makes up in the height for what it lacks in length, reminding us that happiness is not measured by the goals, but how fully we live in each moment. So this is how it should be there. Next question. The doubter is the true man of science. So this is very, very important. It is asking about the spirit of questioning. It is asking about the spirit of reasoning. It is asking about the how a reason is leading to the science, development of science. You can compare. It is not just the first time an apple fall in front of the Newton. But Newton, with the help of its reasoning, discovered gravity. Many people failed and could not discover this gravity, but Newton could. What differentiates Newton and all other scientific inquiry or all other the scientific judgments or scientific this innovations? That differentiation lies in this question, that the benefit of being a doubter. All right, it is not just having the idea to the scientific thing, but everywhere, be it historical, let's say when Akbar abolished jizya, or when Mahatma Gandhi brought this back, this or unilaterally withdraw this non-cooperation movement, or let's say when this any scientific inquiry, let's say Homi Jahangir Baba when created this bark, all these are because of the reasoning capability which is there. So this is how it should be understood. And it is not just the science through the literal means. Even the constructive criticism on the floor of parliament can also take up the most logical decision. Science is what here? Logic. Science is what here? Rationality. So for being rational, it is very important to be based upon reason. So this is how it should be understood. This is how it should be well understood. And then in economy also, what kind of economy is needed? That should be a reasoned economy. That should be a well understood idea which should be there. So geographically, regions that have embraced the culture of scientific skepticism, such as Europe during the Enlightenment, or the modern United States, have often led in scientific and technological innovation. So geopolitically, the nations that invest in research and development, support a questioning ethos, are more likely to lead in the global science and technology arenas. So this is what is there. Economically, industries that embrace doubt and encourage innovative questioning, like technology and pharmaceutical, tend to be leaders in economic growth and development. Environmentally, doubting this prevailing assumptions about the resources sustainability has led to breakthroughs in renewable energy and conservation strategies. So wherever we talk, we talk about the importance of reason in decision making, in objective decision making, in any kind of decision making. So this is how it should be there. If we talk about antithesis, without any doubting tendency, you can just use the UPSC previous question. An unexamined life is not worth living, as stated by Socrates. So this is also one of the quotations which is very, very suitable for this particular thing. So here in antithesis, one who failed in reasoning lead to several problems, like you can correlate with the any conventional problem here. Let's say left wing extremism, let's say anything. That is the failure of reason which is there. That is the failure of reason. Let's say this when in 1962 or 1965 wars which are there, that is the failure of reason. Any war which is there, that is the failure of reason. First World War, Second World War, all these are indicating towards the failure of reason. In or this sometimes reasoning with the self-centric attitude is again going to be a very, very problematic one. Let's talk about the government efforts in this case. So how government is what? How government is trying to improve this reasoning capability through constitutional morality, definitely. Again, 51A subclause J. All right, Hannah. So, or this there is constitutional morality for the development of the scientific temper. This improving the reasoning capability. All these things are there, but there are policies also. Policies like there can be multiple policies for improving the reasoning, like the most educational policy, national education policy, or with the focus upon vocational education, is focused upon improving the reasoning capability of that. And then forums and the civil society organizations are doing that. But despite all these, this reasoning, or despite all this efforts by the government to improve the benefit of doubt in the society, this there is a healthy skepticism and effective action, especially in the policy areas affected by the scientific uncertainty. If we talk about way forward has stated that it pays to keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out. So this is what is there. This is what is there. So in conclusion, you can just write about that. Pursuit of deeper understanding and truth. We navigate the complexities in the modern world. Let us remember the spirit of doubt, when appropriately harnessed, is not adversely of knowledge, but is its greatest ally. So this is how you can just understand. This should be a very simple thing. Next question, this is the social media is triggering fear of missing out amongst the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness. So this is very, very important and simple thing to be done, simple thing to be written. So if I say you, social media is triggering fear of missing out amongst the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness. You can just say that in social media recently, in some social media groups, you can start with a blue whale game. I already stated, and some people committing suicide, some people over obsessed with social media are doing certain things, and people are deriving their values from social media. Only good parts are being projected on social media, or some only TRP related activities are done on social media. So this is the FOMO culture which is there with respect to the social media is indicating now we are maybe not aware of what is happening in our neighborhood, but we are taking too much interest in what is happening in the life of let's say most popular Bollywood celebrity. So this is the idea. What is happening in the family, but is not known, but we are knowing that what is happening in others' family. So this is the idea of the social media, which is there. We are being less connected in real world, but we are being more connected in virtual world, which comes with a cost, which comes with a virtual connect is the basis for this the virtual emotions, and virtual emotions will uh, can take anyone in depressions. So it is not like this. There is the antithesis. First you have to support this argument, and then you will have to give the ideas about how social media is being useful. All right. So social media campaign, let's say some of the important current affairs like British Analytica, the studies about how the social media is influencing the minds of the youth, or for that matter, the influencers which are there. Let's say there are a lot of things which are going on social media, um, which has been questioned by several critique. Let's say this um, Ayurveda tribal oil which is there, or anything which you can take up in social media, through social media, how alienation and depression is happening because the expectation and reality does not match at all. So this is what is there. This is how you can write. Shakespeare might have put it in writing today. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exists and their entrance, and one man in his time plays many part, his his acts being seven ages. So in the context of social media, the stage is ever present with the audience constantly watching, leading young people to perform incessantly without respite, precipitating in a unique kind of psychological distress. So this is how it is happening. So this is such a wonderful thing. You can just keep that. Comparison is the thief of joy. You know about that? Joy is, um, joy is stolen by the through the comparison. If we talk about constant barrage of picture perfect moments from others can lead to intense feeling of envy and the sense that one's life is inadequate. Studies that shown that such feelings directly correlate with increased rates of depression and anxiety among the youth. So this is with respect to the technology. Health wise also the impact is the palpable. Lancet report has stated about the increasing the mental health. You can just also talk about the presence of YouTube Rehabilitation Center, the presence of this, what do you call this, social media rehabilitation center in the United States. This is indicating towards what? The idea that how this social media is creating, or social media is inherently biased towards itself. So this is how it should be there. In counter arguments, you can just say the utility of social media. Number one, that how social media is making us sorry. So it is not just the literacy, but the digital literacy which is required, digital literacy which is required. So this is how it should be there. Educationally, social media offers access to educational context content and expert discussions that were previously unavailable, providing an enriching complement to additional educational forms. Ethically, the debate continues about the balance of censorship versus freedom of expression. So, we talk about government effort is towards trying to regulate this social media. Recent BNS is also covering the social media and everything which is there. And then you can also talk about the geopolitical impact, geopolitical effort that Indian Home Affairs and United States Homeland Security are engaging together for making the entire ecosystem what the cyber security friendly. So this is how it should be there. In conclusion, it offers new frontiers for connections and growth. There is no path of happiness. There is happiness is the path. This you can just use this in that also. So social media should be used with the wisdom, with the adequate maturity. Next question. Next question is, nearly all man can stand adversity, but to test the character, give him the power. I just in the beginning only I gave you the mythological story comparison between the Lord Indra and Lord Krishna, or for that matter, Ram and Ravan, or for that matter, this Gandhi and Hitler, for that matter, this APJ Kalam and AQ Khan. This is simply the power. The one person who is having power without morality is the contrasting view, and one person with power having the morality is again is what is required. So this is how it should be there. Adolf Hitler. Thesis, you talk about the history, like the Nelson Mandela used for the reconciliation. So I think after understanding this, you can take up the examples from everywhere and you can discuss that. Ring of Gyges is there in Plato. Ring of Gyges discusses this questioning whether a person would remain virtuous if they could act without consequence. So look at this. The exercise of power tests the ethical boundaries of individuals. So politically, you can just understand antithesis. In antithesis, you can just write here about the difference between power and authority. If I talk about the power, power may be used for the wrong purpose also. But if we talk about authority, authority may be used for the right purpose only. Authority is what? The legitimate power, the accepted power, the moral accountability, the bottom up accountability with the power. So this is what is required. All right. So it is not just the absolute power, because absolute power is corrupting absolutely, but the legitimate power, but the the check and with proper check and balances which should be there. So this is what is there. We talk about government effort. You know about the constitutional principle of doctrine of separation of power and check and balances which is there. Then policies promoting transparency and accountability, educational initiatives that focus upon the ethical leaderships essential in preparing the future, and so on. This can be written. All ideas having the large consequences are always simple. This is nothing but this is the simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You talk about Mahatma Gandhi when he started wearing a one simple dhoti, and this gave the this person with the dhoti in the stick in his hand has given the entire world the most advanced lesson which is valid even today. So that is indicating towards how simplicity is presenting the ultimate sophistication. All right, all ideas having large consequences are always simple. That is called the strategic idea. The strategic this this consequences which are there. So this is how it should be there. All ideas having the large consequences are always simple. So here you can just talk about the ideas like the gravity was very simple. In the science, you talk about this the political ideas like the separation of power or check and balances. The ideas like democracy, which is the simplest form, which has to be accepted. So any idea, this is a very open-ended question. If you talk about the idea of the society, the social capital, the social interactions, the social everything is in its a simple form is making it relevant, but with the complexity it is creating the what? The problem. Technologically, the invention of the wheel is the example of the simple idea with enormous consequences in transport and commerce. You can take up the example. See, I tell you, these essays could be best written with the examples, but the examples should be followed by the arguments. Arguments first, then examples should be second. Human behavior is incredibly complex. To understand the behavior in its true spirit, in its true sense, one should be following the simple ideas. All right. So philosophical perspective is there. Simplicity drives user adoption. This economically, the intricacies of global financial system and the government and the societal effort. The government often implements the policies that reflect the simple principles to address complex issues like anti-discrimination. So this is what is to be there, that some people use this idea in the government is promoting this idea through different means, different ways, and some people are using this idea for the bad purposes. In the current affairs realm also, you can just say that some ideas which has failed miserably, which can be there, right? So this should be the basic principle of how to write this essay. That this idea is very significant for the transformation, for the transformative behavior. So this is how it should be there. So this is simply nothing but this is ideas led transformation, which is there, idea centric transformative change, which is there. So that is what is there. Now next question, look at this. This is the, I think this is the last question. So look at this. This is the cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. This I told you that the value of action over inaction. This is very simple. First, you just simplify this statement into just one word or two word. So this is value of action over inaction. So you can just talk about some people just talked and some people were able to take the action. So, there were a lot of critique, lot of thinkers which were there. But today we understand from the British India. Today we respect the person who was very much active, who was very much action oriented. All right, not just those critique who are there. So this is very important for the today's world that the action should be given precedence over the inaction. Throughout the history, the tension between action and inaction has shaped the course of human progress. Take, for example, the decisions by leaders to invest in space exploration during 20th century. Despite significant risks and the potential for costly failures, the choice to forge ahead led to tremendous technological advancements and a better understanding of our universe. Conversely, consider the initial inaction in response to HIV/AIDS crisis, which resulted in devastating global consequence. The contrasting scenario exemplify the assertion of cost of being wrong is less than cost of doing nothing. Right? So this could be there with respect to HIV/AIDS thing, and we can also correlate it with the corona thing. In COVID, those people who were not doing anything, and those people who managed to do something, and maybe they are, they have done something wrong, but they managed to do something and help the community, help the people, help the person. So that is very crucial. All right, Anna. So this is how you should be writing about the supporting arguments that the actions, even initially misguided, or actions are always better than ignorance. Um, uh, Actions might result into some bad outcomes, but the ignorance will only be resulting into the bad outcomes. So this is how you can just write in civil rights movements, those fought with the setbacks and challenges, hardcore importance of action. So this is how you should be understanding. This is talking about the Nazi Germany and everything. That antithesis that some of the actions which are there that are very immature actions, that are very short-sighted actions. So these are not required at all. These are going to be problematic. Without adequate preparation leads to failure, to damage psychological well-being, economical well-being, and the political rash decisions lead to the policy blunders, damaging public trust and government legitimacy. And ethically, the actions taken without thorough ethical considerations can lead to unintended consequences that compromise the moral standards. We talk about government and societal efforts. You know about that in the simple manner, what we have created. Government effort for bringing actions together, or bringing promoting the actions will be what will be the constitutional effort for this development of morality, or this spirit of actionhood which is there. So this is what is there. But despite efforts, there are certain challenges which are there. There has to be way forward for the development of the morality, the making the society action centric, or making the innovation and recognizing, doing the right role modeling, the attitude change. All these things should be there. In conclusion, this, if everyone is action oriented, you can just uh, conclude it by this Rabindranath Tagore poem of where the mind is without fear and where the world is not divided by the narrow domestic wall. So that the poem will be there because of the way forward, if implemented well, can be resulting into this particular type of action, this particular type of a society. So this is how it should be there. So this is your discussion. I know. See, I just tell you that this is not just the model discussion. This is not just the one answer which will get the good best marks. There can be multiple ways of presentation. So these essays, this model answer which I am discussing is for the purpose of your reference, but you do not consider to imitate completely, or you just do not try to use this idea as it is through remembering it for your own development. In essay, it is completely writing skill and less knowledge, and this skill development takes time. So for development of right skill, I will suggest you to develop your approach towards essay. You refine your approach towards essay. Best way to refine your approach towards essay would be to write the essay, to get it evaluated, to get the expert feedback, and after then improve that. This is very, very important, very, very significant. So with all this, I conclude this session. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, I am going to uh, um, you know, start the session for GS paper number 1 and paper number 2 as soon as I get the question. I'll not take much time. The moment I get the question, I'll just release the model answer and the discussion also. These discussions are tend to be very short. I'm not going to be make it very bulky, but I'm going to make it very, very short so that you should not be bored and you should be enjoying this discussion. So thank you very much and all the best, all the very, very best. See you tomorrow.